From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your evening update. Your weekend weather update is made possible by Caltrans District 2.
Hey folks, good evening. I'll tell you what, that system just does not look like what it used to over the last 12 hours. It has spun itself to death off the west coast, especially now that it's made landfall, right? So we're just not seeing those impacts, not like yesterday, that much is for sure. If we take a look at the future cast, you see it is still impacting us, right? But don't expect much rain from it or anything like that. Most of us will be dry, still some clouds lingering across the area, especially out by the marine boundary layer off to the west there. But most of us are going to be pretty clear through tomorrow morning. Again, much like today, tomorrow could see very, very isolated showers, but do not plan your day around it. It's not going to be that big of a deal. It's more so you might notice a couple of showers falling out of the sky and say, oh, would you look at that? You know, Weather NorCal, they mentioned that, but it's not going to be that big of a deal. I would not plan your day around it through today or for the rest of this evening and into tomorrow as well. Now, as we head through Tuesday, again, mostly dry. I think Tuesday is going to be fine, but late Tuesday, we start to see the first signs of moisture pushing in. That's the next system coming through. That's going to be Wednesday here as this pushes in. Looks like the Arctic air is mostly behind it. We're going to start snow levels out 4,000, 4,500 foot, somewhere in that range to begin with, but it's only going to be decreasing as we head through Thursday and Friday as well. And then behind it, there is actually this little secondary system that kind of looks like the one we saw yesterday, and that's going to push in, give us some more shower chances across the area. And again, I think at this point, that's when the snow levels are going to be lower than 4,000 feet. Taking a look at the rainfall outlook, this is today through Thursday, so this is kind of with that first push of moisture as we head through Wednesday and into the first middle half of Thursday there. You can kind of see what I'm talking about with this rainfall, for example, out here in portions south of Mount Shasta City, east of I-5. You might see a couple inches of rain there. As usual, this is very typical for patterns like this, right? Del Norte County down through Humboldt County, that's where the highest area of rainfall is probably going to be. You might even see some areas 3 to 4 inches here southeast of Crescent City and western portion of Siskiyou County as well. But most of us, I think, are probably going to see, you know, 1/10 to a ½ inch of rain, maybe up to an inch down from Chester to Quincy on the Highway 70 corridor, maybe a couple inches there. But again, like I said, I think most of us on the coast, that's where that classic peak is for those rainfall totals. Very typical pattern there. And speaking of the pattern, I think we're actually going to stay fairly active over the next, I would say, couple of weeks, right? I think as we head into the end portions of this month and into the first week of April, I think the pattern is going to stay fairly active, right? So temperatures might be kind of on a roller coaster ride. And of course, I think we're going to be cooling off as this big batch of cold air pushes in Wednesday. Again, by Wednesday afternoon, notice the coolest air is off to the west. Warm air is trying to intrude on it. Don't think it's going to make it, though. I think it's actually going to push that warm air off to the east, though. And, you know, we might have a little bit of a wedge here Sunday. I think that's going to do us some favors late towards the week, Saturday and Sunday. So I think we have better weather to look forward to towards, you know, next weekend, right? I think we got to get through Wednesday, through Thursday, through Friday before we have those nicer outdoor conditions, right? I know it's spring, but, you know, Mother Nature doesn't know calendars, right? Here's your wave heights for, you know, the next 24 hours or so. I think we're definitely calming down just a little bit back to the single digits. Definitely a welcome improvement compared to those double-digit wave heights we saw over the last couple of days. Here's your forecast lows for tonight. Notice along the coast, those widespread lower to mid 40s across the area. Out towards Trinity County, head a little further inland, you get right there at freezing, kind of in that 32 to 34 range, very close there. And out towards Siskiyou County, well, all bets are off. I think you're going to be below freezing there, upper 20s, lower 30s there. Modoc County, very similar story, down to 395 to Susanville and through Doyle as well. You're going to be right there kind of at freezing. And through the valley, we're probably going to be talking much like the coast, that kind of range in the mid 40s for your lows as we head through tonight and especially also into tomorrow morning as well. So we're definitely a little bit cooler. I think we hold this pattern over the next several days of starting to warm up and then it comes crashing down Wednesday, right? So that's kind of what we can expect for the daytime highs. Taking a look across the area, here's your temperature forecast as we head through tomorrow for the North Coast out through Humboldt County and Trinity County. We're going to be talking mid to upper 50s there. Hold that for the next couple of days, then boom, rainfall and temperatures kind of stay in steady state in the mid 50s out there for the next 5 or so days. Up towards Del Norte County near the state line, very similar story there as well through tomorrow. Check out those widespread 50s across the area. Down by Hoop and Willow Creek, you might even get 57, 58, 59 degrees. And I think we'll be in the 60s as we head through Tuesday, but yeah, comes crashing down back to the 50s through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Only towards next weekend do I think we start getting those better outdoor conditions. That's what I was saying just a minute ago across the North State. Out in Siskiyou County, widespread mid to upper 60s. Over in Happy Camp, kind of the winter there, 56 degrees, cooling off as you head further east, of course, into the upper elevations, getting down into the upper 40s for your your highs. And I think by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, really Wednesday, Thursday, Friday rather, I think that's whenever the cooler weather really starts to take over. Notice those 40s for highs sticking around there. And of course, as we head deeper and deeper into the week, Thursday and Friday especially, that's also when the snow levels are probably going to drop down below 4,000 feet, probably back to 3,000 feet as that Arctic air becomes more reinforced. I discussed that earlier in the midday show. You can go back and see that there. I was talking about that. Out towards Modoc County, widespread right there near 50. I think that's kind of the shooting goal, or trying to get right there towards 50. I don't think most of us will hit it. I think California Pines up through Alturas, you might get right there at 49 or 50, but most of us are kind of going to be stuck in the upper 40s. I think that's going to be the case for the next couple of days. You might see some 50s, 51s, but yeah, like I said, Wednesday through Thursday, cooling right back down to the mid 40s across the area. Out towards the eastern mountains, very similar story. Widespread upper 40s and lower 50s, down the 95, down to 395. Goodness gracious, I can't speak. And then out here towards Doyle, 54 degrees there. And of course, as you head further west, you get those cooler temperatures across the area. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's that cool down, falling in line with the rest of us out here, out in the eastern mountains. Now the winter, as usual, right down here in the southern portions of the valley, widespread mid 60s, maybe even some upper 60s as we head through Tuesday as well. Notice that, but not long for this world. Like I said earlier, and I've said this a few times over this weekend, Mother Nature doesn't know calendars, and we're going to be cooling down pretty quickly Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Up towards the northern portions of the valley, very similar story here. Mid 60s from Shasta Lake all the way down to Red Bluff, cooling down as we head through Wednesday and beyond. Thanks for joining me for this forecast. I'll be back with you next weekend, and Mike will be back with you this week, of course, keeping a look and seeing how this evolves as we head through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.